Hi everyone and welcome to our webinar for today, Life After Foreclosure. My name is Xavier and I am from Transformers. I will be your narrator for today. Once again, our topic will be Life After Foreclosure. According to bankrate.com, while there's a considerable pain, most foreclosure victims will eventually become homeowners again, says Jay Zargowski, a researcher science at Ohio State University. In this webinar, we will discuss some of the immediate and midterm steps to take to be able to get yourself solely on the path again to home ownership. But before we go into our topic, let me talk about a little bit about Transformance. Transforming is a non-profit organization founded in 1974, and it's a United Way service provider as well as a HUD-approved multi-state housing, counseling, and education organization. Our programs have positively impacted over 1.7 million lives in over 42 years, and the programs that we offer include credit and budget coaching, financial education, student loan coaching. In addition, we offer our AIM program, our C2 Safe program, our housing coaching, as well as debt management and bankruptcy coaching. Transformance is united with United Way, and our goal is to move people out of over 250,000 people out of poverty in 10 years. Helping individuals is what we do here at Transformance. Let me tell you a brief story about one of our clients here at Transformance. Ben came to Transformance several years ago after experiencing an expensive divorce, living out of his car and paying for all of his expenses with credit cards. With the help of Transformance, he was able to learn how to live within a budget. And through our debt management plan, he was able to pay off his creditors in a reasonable and responsible fashion. After learning how to do a budget and clearing up his credit issues, Ben was able to run several successful companies and is now a leading pillar of the community, having served at the pleasure of 2 U.S. presidents. Our mission here at Transformance is to help those in poverty move to the middle class and to provide financial coaching to individuals who seek it. Through our integrated delivery model, we partner with other nonprofits, government agencies, schools, and for-profit businesses to drive value to our community. Now that I talk a little bit about Transforming, let's go now and enter our topic for today. Our topic for today, like I said, is life after foreclosure, and we will discuss the steps to take remaneuver your situation. In aftermath considerations, we will discuss those immediate steps to help you get back on your feet. Losing your home is an experience that no one wants to feel. But after your house has been foreclosed upon, however, there are steps to consider and actions to take to get you back on the right track. In rebuilding, we will discuss some of the steps needed to reestablish your credit, which will help you obtain credit, avoid expensive deposits on rental agreements, and eventually repurchase a house. The house may be gone, but after you initially determine that your house will be foreclosed upon, there's a series of questions you need to explore before planning. First, you need to determine why the foreclosure occurred. Did you simply get overextended when purchasing the house, or were you unable to make payments due to inability to control spending? If this is the latter, for example, you need to address this situation. And certainly we can help you here at Transformance. Second, determine what your next steps are going to be. Most likely, your first next step will be to obtain and to rent an apartment. It's important to realize that your first resident following your foreclosure will likely be paying a step down payment, a steep down payment, or be disqualified from a lot of apartments, excuse me. Finally, you should consider legal options. Even with a foreclosure, you may find yourself owing quite a bit of money if there's a large delta between the amount you owe and the amount that the house sold for. Tax implication might be something to think about. Collaborative or amicable foreclosure, deficiency judgment, massive leftover taxes, hardship exemption on bankruptcy may assist. This is things that you need to consider while working with the IRS if this is a problem. You don't want to be surprised with taxes over 40,000, I mean 40 to 50,000 that definitely you can't afford. So these are a few things to consider uh, when foreclosure happened. So kind of stuff that you need to find out with the IRS to see how can you move forward. Uh, Another things, the considerations after the aftermath of a foreclosure, obviously where you're going to live, uh, need to take into account that more than likely since a foreclosure happened, then there will be a higher security deposit for any apartment that you may want to rent. So you may want to think ahead and prepare yourself for that. Uh, Home ownership again, probably more than likely in the future you may become a homeowner again, but again this will take time, so that's why it says that not so fast. uh, Continuing with our topic of aftermath considerations, you need to ask yourself, is your head is above water? This could be a good time when the family needs to consider creative ways to earn additional income. If a child is not working, if the family has a child and that child is not working, then they might consider an after-school job just to have an extra income. If the child is 18 plus and still living in the house, then again, that full-time or part-time job that that the child may get one, so they could have an extra income. So instead of being one or two income, it could be two or three, depending on the amount of people that are in the household. How much did the foreclosure hurt your credit exactly? Foreclosure, as you can see here in our chart, uh, it's the second most impactful thing that can happen to your credit score behind the bankruptcy. Let's say, for example, if your score is 680, a foreclosure will drop your FICO score between 85 to 105 points. If your score is, let's say, 780, then the foreclosure will impact your FICO score by dropping it between 140 and 160 points. Since this is like I said, the second most impactful thing on your FICO score, you need to motivate yourself to pull on every other level available in the credit score to bring it back up. Knowing the exactly value of the loss of your credit is key to rebuilding it. Now that this happened, we will talk about ways that you can do to increase your FICO score later on this webinar. To be able to get back on track and be able to rent an apartment after the foreclosure, or down the road be able to be a home owner again, one of the things that we need to do is a goal setting tool. This is a great way to start your road to financial recovery. Simply begin with a simple goal of finding a place to live. From there, establish smart goals and celebrate and build upon every little victory that you have. If in a family or couple, understanding the objectives of both individuals helps the couple confidently determine where and how to spend and save money. You can see the goal setting tool is really an exercise in identifying what you want and defining it against actionable objective. In step one, basically you need to do like a brainstorm that obviously not only is going to impact yourself if you're by your own, but if you have a family, then you need to create a brainstorm taking into consideration what are their short and long-term hopes, wants, and dreams for you and the family. Next, you will need to, the second step is to siphon down the list to actionable items that are specific, measurable, and time-bound. Ask yourself questions like, how will I do it? How will I know if I'm successful? When will I be complete? Basically, each one of these three questions answers the specific, measurable, and time-bound goals. Then create an action plan to reach your goal. This is basically step 3. This is how that I'm going to do it. Finally, for all those goals that require money, then determine how much needs to be set aside each week to accomplish it. Now, in the rebuilding process, obviously, in a foreclosure, it causes a damage to oneself ego and to the family's identity. You may experience loss of friendships. Your children can experience a change of schools or place in the community. It's important to realize that you have the power to turn the situation around in your favor. As the Ohio State University researcher comments says, the vast majority of individuals who land in foreclosure do eventually purchase another home. So yes, someone's ego may be hurt after foreclosure, but remember that it's not the end. You can get back on track. You can own another home again, and you could be in an even better place. And any damage to our ego, any family identity crisis because of foreclosure, remember that's only temporary. You can work it out. What is the status of your credit file? Any accounts in good standing left? If if there's no account in good standing, it might be a time to seek a secure card. Make sure that this secure card reports to the 3 bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Otherwise, it may be a cash assistance with debit cards and prepaid cards as a fallback. You may also consider alternate credit reporting agencies like rent, utilities, etc. Now, an important aspect of life after foreclosure is rebuilding your credit. Your best chance at rebuilding your credit comes with understanding about the 5 C's of credit. And those are credit, capital, character, conditions, collateral, and capacity. All these 5 elements combine to help the lender determine how worthy of credit risk you are. Now let's look at each one of them individually in the next couple of slides. First, we're going to start with capacity. Capacity is what is your ability to repay the loan. Do you have a job? Do you have another job or another income source that you can use to repay your loan to get back on track? Do you have any other debts that you need to pay it off quickly so you can get back on track sooner rather than later? The second C is capital accumulation. What are you worth? Do you have other assets such as savings accounts, a car, or a CD, I mean a certificate of deposit that could be used to repay that debt? This is what capital means, something that you need to think about. Collateral. For example, if you're buying your first car, remember that any auto loan, the car is the collateral for that loan. So in case you cannot repay your loan, then the car will serve as a collateral for that loan. You need to ask yourself if there's something of value that you agree to forfeit if it's necessary. The conditions, personal conditions, the market conditions, personal you can work with. Marketers are hard to control. It all depends on the economy. The character, who are you? That's the determination that you have to have the positive mindset to get yourself out of this situation. Uh, will you repay the loan? Have you used credit before? Do you pay your bills on time? Your credit report and score tell your story. Remember that this is key. Uh, your character is key to rebuild your credit after a foreclosure. That positive attitude that you need to have. Things to consider here when you're rebuilding your credit. What does your FICO score consider? If you can see here, the, the greater percentage of what is considered on your FICO score comes from your payment history. This is basically if you can get back on track on all your payments, uh, then that will impact your credit at 35%. And the second one is the amount owed. That's at 30%. Uh, Basically, on this two, this 65% where what we suggest and what is recommended is make your payments on time and make sure that that the amount that you owe is not too high. Don't max out your credit cards. Now, is Transforming against credit cards? No. I mean, we at Transforming, we encourage our clients to use credit cards in a responsible way, since they are a powerful tool to be able to help you. If you use credit cards in a responsible way, remember that if you pay on time, if you keep your balances low or down to zero, then using credit cards will help you build on credit. Obviously, they can be very dangerous if you use them irresponsibly. What will increase your FICO score? Like we talked about before, a steady income history, emergency savings, growing net worth, excellent payment history, responsible credit usage, absence of adversity, and overall financial maturity. These are concrete steps that can be taken to raise your credit score. And finally, in the tools section, like I mentioned at the beginning, we got the Pocket Change USA app that you can download for free on your iPhone or Android. This is the mobile app of Transformant. With this app, you are able to learn, play, and plan. So you can balance your budget, you can keep track of all of your expendings, and even you can connect with us with one of our certified coaches that will gladly help you move along and get back on track. That will be all for today. I thank everyone who joined us to be here in our webinar live after foreclosure. I hope this has been helpful. If you want more information regarding our webinars, upcoming webinars, and more information about not only Transformance but of all of our services, you can visit us online at transformingsusa.org, or you can call us at 1-800-249-2227.